Okay, very good. We're back. So number 4, there was one item from the close that we will rise and report on. So that's all we need to say. The consent agenda. Motion to approve. Okay, moved and seconded. Call the question, all in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Yeah. 6, staff reports and other business. CAO verbal update.
Nothing, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. May 2023 select funds report. We have Suzanne for that. Yeah. Good morning, Suzanne.
Good morning.
How are you? You want to speak to your report?
The select funds report? No, we don't present that report, so it's just open to
Okay,
questions.
Is there any questions from anybody about that?
So,
Vivian?
Thank you. Good morning. Hello, Mr. France. I wondered if we could consider using some funds from General Select. I know I've brought this up before. For looking into the electric supply that would be required for a level 2 charger for electric vehicles at the Pemberton SLRD office.
I believe we could probably get funding for that. I know that they had grant funding available for those types of things, and I think it's a bigger project than just putting funds towards. So we'd have to put that on a work plan, and you know, the follow-up action list is pretty extensive right now, but that would be the path I would select to go forward with that, if that's something the board wants to do. I think that yeah, I'll relay this back to administration staff, but for funding, we would have to potentially request the province. I know they had grants available for this, but the other work side of things would have to be worked out first, like the actual where it would be, how it would work, and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, thanks. Through the chair. So any requests for work items or items to be added to the work plan should come through myself and ultimately through the board, through our strategic planning process and priority setting process. That said, to add what Ms. LaFrance said, this is on our current work plan, Director Birch Jones. It's on the work plan of environmental services, and I will make sure that we provide an update on this specific item. I'll pull it out as part of the June quarterly Q2 report back to the board, if that's helpful. I've been updated on it. I just can't remember the specific details. So if it's okay, we'll bring that item forward as part of the report to the board in June, if that's okay.
Thanks so much.
Okay, anything else from anybody? For Suzanne?
Okay, with this.
So we just need a motion then to receive this report.
I'll make a motion.
Moved and seconded. Call the question, all in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Thank you very much. Okay, now we go to Director's Report 7.1, Squamish Arts 2023 Squamish Art Walk event, Director Rainbow.
Okay, I haven't finished up this select things. Yeah,
Squamish Arts have been running I'm sorry.
Director Rainbow, are you wanting to withdraw the previous conflict you've declared in regards to the Art Society?
Oh, do I have to do that for this item? Is that how? Yeah, I decided I didn't need to declare a conflict anymore, but I didn't realize it carried forward. Okay, so what shall I do then?
Declare that you're not in a conflict.
I declared a conflict because my wife was on the board of the Arts Council, and the two of us were working for the Arts Council, but we're not anymore. So I didn't think I had a conflict anymore.
So one moment, let me just pull up more. So what we're looking for from you is for you to declare that you're withdrawing a previously declared conflict because
What I
you
just
and your
said.
spouse are moving.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's a resolution I have to make, is it?
just a
A
declaration.
declaration, okay, so I'm withdrawing the previous conflict because circumstances have changed, my wife is no longer on the board, and she and I are no longer volunteering as curators for for one of the galleries in Squamish. Okay, thank you. Oh, I didn't realize that all flowed forward like that. So where am I at now? They've been running this art walk for several years now, and they approached me anyway, I got talking to them about it and suggested that they do something beyond Squamish and they get out into Area D, and they've done that, and they're wanting to continue to do that. There'll be more opportunities in the future than there are now, but I want to establish with them that pattern of being involved in Area D as well as in the District of Squamish. So with that in mind, I make this motion that, except it's just disappeared off my screen again.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Yes, I know.
7.1.
Yeah, that $4,500 be granted to Squamish Arts from Area D select funds to support the Squamish Art Walk event.
Okay, you're gonna move that?
I'll move that.
Second it, Sal seconds it. All right, moved and seconded, call the question, all in favor, opposed, motion carried. 7.2, Squamish Access Society Sun Shelter, Director Rainbow.
Where did that money from? Oh, amenity funds, that's right. So this has to go to the board. I want to recommend to the regional board $10,000 be granted to Squamish Access Society from Area D amenity funds for construction costs of a sun shelter at Electric Avenue, with receipts submitted to the SLRD at completion of the project, and any unexpended funds to be returned. Electric Avenue, it's not within Squamish, it's north of, it's in Area D. It's a rock climbing area just north of Squamish. And there's some what do you call it, advanced rock climbing stuff there, but what's good about it is that it's a really good family training place, you know, a good place to introduce kids to rock climbing and so on. So a couple of years ago we put a toilet there, and they're asking for this because they're getting families to go there, and in the really hot weather there's no shelter. So this provided a little bit of shelter, and it just makes the area more usable. And the good thing, the BC Parks are kind of interested, and I think eventually BC Parks might sort of adopt that whole area as a park.
Fair enough. Nice.
So that's the background, and
Move.
I'll move that.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, so there's a couple ways. The way it's worded is that 10,000 will be sent to them, and then they'll be required to submit receipts after the fact and return any money.
Yeah.
The other option that we've also done more regularly is that it's be up to 10,000 with receipts submitted after the fact, and they be reimbursed. So I'm not sure what, like you worded it so that the money's released.
Two reasons. One, I don't think they got the wherewithal to be able to pay the bills as they go. You know, Squamish Access Society is a group of volunteers that build trails, and they don't really have a working budget. So that, and I know the guy that's doing this quite well, and they'll manage the money. It won't be an issue. And I thought this was less work for us as well, if we just send them a check and then they send a report at the end, rather than Suzanne get 5 or 6 bills coming in. I just thought this was more efficient for us.
Makes sense to me.
But it's a problem, you know, if you
Sorry, with you?
Dr. Birchfield.
Birch Jones, yeah. Director Birch Jones?
More importantly, I saw Miss LaFrance come back on, and so maybe she wanted to address that comment. I'll wait.
Well, I just wanted to say that either way would work. Normally we would prefer to have receipts first, but if that person or the group can show that they have issues coming up with the funds up front, we can definitely fund the project first and then have those reimbursed with, sorry, and have the expenses sent after, which is fine.
No.
Yeah, I totally agree with Tony. We got a lot of nonprofit organizations that just don't have the funds available to give out that money and then get reimbursed later. So I agree with where we're going with this one.
Yeah, and I do too. Do you still have a question, Vivian?
I had a comment and a question. Comment on the last one, just Director Rainbow, I see Lillooet referenced in that Squamish Arts discussion, and don't forget the hub. They're doing a lot of work around art and the promotion of art. So just wanted to mention that. My question about the Squamish Access Society was, when the sun shelter is erected, the maintenance and insurance and those kind of, like, who's responsible for it until the happy event that BC Parks takes it over?
Squamish Access Society, and I will talk to them about that. They have a number of. It's the first time they've ventured into the sun shelter. Where they got the idea, I don't know if you've been in Squamish recently, but in several places around Squamish, they've got these, what they call a nook, and it's a shelter with a picnic table in it. And I know what they used COVID funds to pay for those, to provide gathering spaces for the public, public spaces. So that's where they got the idea. Most of their stuff up until now has been toilets and other trailhead kind of installations, picnic tables and things. But I'll ask them that, what I just assumed that they've taken care of everything, but I'll make sure.
Kristen.
Thanks. Would you like wording added to the resolution to clarify that the society be responsible for all ongoing?
We could do a separate resolution if you like, just because we just passed that. Did we pass that one yet?
Yeah.
No,
No, we didn't. Oh,
no, we interjected. I interjected.
So let's just add to that resolution then.
whatever's easiest.
Yeah.
So could you suggest some wording for me, please?
That with, and for clarity, the society be responsible for all ongoing maintenance and operating costs associated with the shelter.
Perfect. Yeah.
So,
Just looking at their proposal there, Rec Sites and Trails has approved its installation. And if it's an actual rec site, it would have to be a rec site for them to approve the installation. So with that, they'd have the authorization to do it. they normally will kick in about $5,000 for projects like that. And yeah, it's just looking at that application and, you know, what they actually stated in there. Somewhere in there, rec sites and trails should be putting in some money into it too. So they may be able to do that through their maintenance program,
Okay,
you know.
Okay, so with those resolutions, you're gonna move it?
yes,
Sal's gonna second it?
don't expect me to repeat it though.
No,
Okay, so it's got it all written down.
we have these professionals that do that. It's moved and seconded. I'll call a question. All in favor, opposed, motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We go to number 8, correspondence for action. Request for funding, Pemberton Valley Trails Association Trail Maintenance Apprentice Proposal 2023. So what I would like to do with this, they're requesting $6,720 from Electoral Area C towards its cost of hiring a trail maintenance apprentice to work under the direction of its lead trail maintenance work in 2023. So what I would like to do is out of Area C select funds, pay for half of that amount. And the other half would then come from the Village of Pemberton.
So is that conditional upon the Village of Pemberton?
No,
contributing
we-
that, or
I'll-
just
we'll-
and
yeah.
they can look to
Yeah.
other sources.
They'll look at, okay, they can look to other sources for the other half. Yeah. That's
Awesome.
something-
I wondered why this wasn't just a matter for PVIS committee.
Yeah, well, they've already gone through that process and this is just a shortfall, so. And this is just a one-time top up for this event, as there will be another one coming up in a bit further, same thing. For our information center. Okay, so I'll move it.
I'll second
Sal's
it.
gonna second it. So moved and seconded, call the question, all in favor, opposed, motion carried. Thank you. And this one here, request for funding Pemberton District Healthcare Foundation part-time support staff. Pemberton District Healthcare Foundation requests funding of $5,000 from Area C select funds towards its cost of hiring a staff member to assist in the foundation's work in engaging the community in fundraising for healthcare equipment and expanded facilities for the Pemberton and District area. You're looking, it's okay? Okay, so I will move that because I think this is very important. The thing with this foundation, it's all volunteers again. And they just need some assistance on a regular basis. So I will move this amount and come out of Area C select funds. Tony.
I don't have any question about what you want to spend the money on or anything like that. So I would fully support that. I just had this thing in my mind that we weren't allowed to use select funds for salary purposes, for hiring staff. Am I wrong on that?
Suzanne?
I don't recall that, and there's very few limitations on the Area C select funds. I don't believe there's a limitation for supporting staff positions inside not-for-profits.
Okay,
I've been operating under that impression for 8 years. I didn't
so
know
I'll
that.
move this request and Tony's now going to
I'll
second.
second it. That's absolute, yeah.
Okay, moved and seconded, call the question, all in favor, opposed, motion carried. Thank you. Now we'll go to 8.3, request for funding, Lillooet and District Rescue Society Vehicle Extrication Training Area A.
Yeah.
So this would be Sal?
Yeah, for sure. This society works for both Area A, Area B, and Lillooet. And I've seen them in action with fatality that was in the canyon in the Bridge River Valley. So they actually went to two different fatality scenes with vehicles. And I fully support everything that they're doing. I did have a conversation with Director Burks Jones that they should have a line item in their budget on training. They don't have it, and they really need it because they have to continually keep on upgrading their skills. And but in the meantime, I definitely support this. So Lillooet and District Rescue Society requests funding of 1,000 from Area A select funds towards the cost of vehicle extrication, rescue training, and certification for rescue volunteers.
Okay, you'll move it. I'll second it. It's very good. Excellent. So moved and seconded, call a question. All in favor, opposed, motion carried. 8.4 is a request for funding. Same request, now this time from Area B. Vivian?
Yep, I'd be pleased to move that $1,000 from electoral area B select funds towards the cost of vehicle extrication, rescue training, and certification for the rescue volunteers. So move.
Very good. Moved and seconded, call a question. All in favor, opposed, motion carried.
And I'm happy they were
Okay,
all
go ahead.
successful in their application to the Lillooet Community Foundation for the $1,000 that's in their budget. So that's good. They'll be able to proceed with this. Thanks.
Very good, thank you. 8.5, request for funding, Permanent and District Chamber of Commerce Information Center, summer staff. Permanent District Chamber of Commerce requests funding to assist with the cost of hiring summer students at the Information Center for the summer season. Existing funding deficit is approximately 11,000. So what happened here, they apply every year for a federal grant for the summer students and for $15,000 for the two students. Somehow or for some reason, this year they were only given a grant of just under $5,000. So they're shorter. So when I talked to the lady, Natalie Langman, who's in charge, she said, you need to get back to either our MP or the people that do the grants and find out what changed, because our museum, they got their full allotment and they've been doing this for a number of years, right? So I don't know what happened, but anyways, so what I would like to do is same thing. I'm hoping the VOP will come up with their share. So I'm willing to put $5,500, sorry, $5,500 towards the 11,000 out of Area C amenity funds. And I guess the wording should be then the other 5,500 should come from other sources. I shouldn't just name the VOP.
Yeah.
Unless you want one, unless that's.
Oh, can I name
unless-
the VOP?
If that's what you want.
That's what I want.
And is it conditional or is the?
No,
money going-
no.
Okay.
I'll put the 5,500 up and I would like to see the VOP match that.
So that's a request.
Yeah, request, yeah.
So this has to go to the board anyway. If it's
Yeah,
coming from
because it's
amenities
amenities.
funds, so we'll all get a chance to see Mike's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Well, they can spend some of their $2 million.
Pressure.
Right. Okay, so I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Sorry, everybody going to second it.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll go call the question. All in favor, opposed, motion carried. Now, okay, the decision on late business, then that's when I would add that 500. Okay, so I want to make a resolution to add $500 to my bursary amount, which is $4,000. I want it to go to $4,500 per year for the next 4 years, correct? And the reason being is I have 3 applicants for the bursary this year. And
I
don't need that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think we need that. So the first step is to vote on adding this
Adding
item
five-
to
oh,
be
adding
considered
that
as
item
as
to-
lead item.
okay.
Oh, good. Okay,
Moved and seconded. Call the question. All in favor, opposed, motion carried. Okay,
can I add something as well?
yeah. Go ahead.
I want to spend my $500, whatever it's called, discretionary.
Funds.
So I want to have it replenished. So that I got that.
Appreciation fund, and that's under your select, right?
Yeah. And then I want a motion to replenish it after I've spent it.
I think you just,
So let's
Let's
vote
do
on
this
whether
one
we're
first.
adding this.
okay.
As
So
an
I'm gonna
item.
move the 500 be added to the 4,000.
Oh, sorry, we've done that.
Okay, we've done
So-
that.
So we've done your item.
Okay.
The next is another request for a late item business to be considered.
Okay, and that's
Director
Tony's.
Rainbow's given
Okay.
us the general, given the
Gist
committee
of
the
the thing.
general,
Yep.
just let's vote on whether.
So
that
that's
would be-
moved and seconded. Call the question, all in favor, opposed, motion carried.
Okay, so late business item 10.1 is Director Mack's director's report.
Okay, the $500 be added to. Okay, I'll move that.
I'll
Tony's
second
gonna
it.
second it. Call the question, all in favor, opposed, motion carried. So then the second one is for Director Rainbow to use his discretionary funds as,
Perhaps,
get Suzanne to,
perhaps we can see if this is necessary.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's
Okay.
necessary.
Suzanne,
Well,
can you give us,
let
I-
me tell you what's happened, Suzanne, and then. I had a director's report at the EAD meeting in April about something we wanted to keep secret, and in your wisdom, you withdrew that, okay?
Yeah.
So my solution to that was to use my discretionary fund to cover that $500. Which I've basically done. So now I'd like, I want my discretionary funds reimbursed, so before it can be reimbursed, I have to tell you that I've spent the money, that I have to inform that I've spent the $500.
What the practice has developed to be is that in a future, you bring a director's report and you report to the committee and to the public where that funding was, how it was spent. And then you submit separately for reimbursement of that.
Right.
Is that fairly describe that process? Suzanne?
Yes, yeah, thanks.
So if I want to keep it secret, I'm going to wait until next month then. All right.
can you,
I'll
you're
withdraw
okay?
that then. Yeah, we can.
So you'll just hold off till next month
We can work with that, yeah.
and then it's all,
It's all done.
okay.
Good. Thank you.
A motion to receive.
Motion to receive. Moved and seconded. Call the question, all in favor, opposed, motion carried. So director's notice of motion? None? And Tony,
I'd like to move adjournment.
very well, nicely done.
Yeah, look at that, 20 to 12.
Okay, so moved and seconded, call the question. All in favor,